Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to another. Maybe I'll move my head here. Saturday morning cartoons here, since I can't get things working working on my screen behind me yet. Rebooting my Fire Stick. I'm distracted. That's what it is. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jerome, with my lovely co-host Rose and Jerome. He's not that lovely. You look just like it. I want to just say hello to everybody. Let me throw you guys up into the room because I don't even think they can hear you if you're in the lobby. There you go. That works a little better now. Good morning, everybody. The Kartoon Krew who showed up in the room. Hey, Odie, Ever, Cheryl's even there. Boy, waiting for some more people. I know it's early for you guys.
Good morning to Corey and to Judy.
Corey and Judy?
Yep, Corey. Corey is a friend of mine, and Judy's joined our watch party.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were pointing to the chat room, and I'm like, I don't see.
No, I'm pointing to.
You're pointing to your doodad.
Yeah, my watch party.
Yay! Good morning, everybody. Hey, look, we're gonna do some house cleaning here before we delve really deep into the Flintstones right now, and basically things that has happened in my life within the last week. We've been off for the last two. Garrett, buddy boy, hey man, we've been off for the last two for some very obvious reasons, but I want to make note of some recent passings of some a friend and a very, very good friend. Recently, and I'm really upset over that. Of course, let's go first with Aaron Eisenberg from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. As you guys know, Aaron passed recently, unexpectedly. I'm sorry, this week. And that upset me greatly, only because I was with Aaron back in April, about 4 months ago. And in fact, I'm throwing this up on the screen real quick. If you notice this was the last convention that I did with Aaron, and it was Treklanta. As you can see, Aaron there on the right, and I'm in the back, of course. And you know, a lot of people always say beautiful things about people when they're dead. Okay, sometimes they don't take the option of saying it to them in their face. I always take the option of saying it to them in their face because I think it's very important. And Aaron is one of the most gracious, funnest, nicest. This guy wasn't real to me. It's like, why is he so nice? You know, he was just so accommodating. Jerome, have you ever worked with Aaron?
No, I never had the pleasure. I've worked with people that have known him around him. And like I know David Mack, who wrote It's Only a Paper Moon, and he and I were discussing Aaron shortly afterwards.
Right.
And he was saying basically that Aaron was not only a gifted actor, because he put it all out there on that episode, but also the fact that he was generous to the people around him. You know, and I'm not talking the other actors. This man apparently would love the crew, you know, the guy holding the microphone and the cameraman and everything else. You know?
Yeah. And the disturbing thing about it is, yeah, this may be a little morbid to say, but there's some actuality behind it. It's like, you know, why not me? I meet so many people that are nicer than me, people that need to be on this earth a lot longer than they should be. You know, I don't feel deserving of that, but I always feel, you know, meet a lot of people that are definitely deserving of that, and they go off. So Aaron's gone, and it's really interesting because he was doing a podcast with two other guys, one being Sirach Lofton, who was his close co-star on Deep Space Nine.
And who you're good friends with.
Oh my God, I know his mother. You know, and I know the restaurant.
That has potential.
I've been to the restaurant in LA they all own. You know, it was Ethiopian food there, and you know, I know Sirach, and we haven't heard from Sirach, and it's understandably so because those guys are really, really, really close. So I get that. The other person I want to get to, and I don't have his picture here, and his name is Lou A. This is another guy who went too soon. This guy, in all honesty, he and I grew up in the convention biz together. He was one of the tech crew for Shore Leave and Farpoint, October Trek when it's around. Things of that nature, and I hung out a lot with him when I was living up in Baltimore, and he had a stroke, went immediately unconscious and into a coma and never woke up. I was around with him when his father died. His father was also a member of the Farpoint and Start Shore Leave community up there. And I remember his passing. And all I can think of now is the wife and mother. You know, she buried her husband, and she buried. I'm sorry, I was reading a comment, and she buried his son. So. And there's another member that died who I didn't know personally, but he did all of the Farpoint cover pages or program books for the covers for the program books. An artist, I think his name is Todd Bergmer, something like that. And he passed within hours after Lou or before.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's been a horrible week. My God, it's just a horrible week. And the only thing that I can live for is next week when I will be off on a cruise. And for me, a cruise is like for us Floridians, just going down the street to Walmart. Okay, it's for us. But we are here for a special show, a special reason, only because MeTV, and let me go ahead and read this first, okay? The Flintstones broke new ground like a dinosaur in Mr. Slate's quarry. In 1960, the cartoon made history as the first animated series in a primetime lineup. The ABC series appealed to the entire family, not just the kiddies chomping cereal, and stood as a brilliant sitcom in its own right, alongside contemporary programs on the schedule like My Three Sons and The Andy Griffin Show. Let me stop this for a minute. I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to get into a segment. I'm going to show you guys some pictures of the voices of the Flintstones. And one of my absolute favorite 60s sitcom, okay, was called Petticoat Junction. As of today, this morning, how stupid of me, had no idea that the person who ran Petticoat Junction was Betty Rubble.
Oh,
yep. She was, in fact, the voice of Betty Rubble. And I'm sitting here, you got to be kidding me. Of course, she died in 1968. Okay, so she has stopped voicing Betty Rubble 4 years prior to that. So in 1964, they actually got another voice for Betty Rubble, but I had no idea. Her name's Kate. And here's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Petticoat Junction. How'd I do? Yeah, it was okay, right? Anyway.
Don't give up the architecture job.
I've heard you're singing too, buddy boy. So
hey, you notice I'm not claiming to be any sort of professional.
Oh, okay.
Good morning to Persa. I can never pronounce her name. And good morning to Uncle Joe.
Yeah, he's moving kind of slow, right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, my uncle is in Houston. He just retired. And good morning to Warren.
Oh, good for him. Welcome. I'm commenting with. I cannot comment in the. Can you comment in the chat? In a Cartoon Krew. Jerome, that went to you.
I'm checking. Hang on.
Okay, because it's not allowing me to comment, but I can comment on my phone. I can comment on my phone like this. Let's do that. Okay, let's move on a little bit with the Flintstones here. Let me keep reading here a little bit, guys. And the reason we're doing this revisit of the Flintstones show because we've already done a show based on the Flintstones.
No, I can't. Before. I can't.
Okay, and I can't get to. Oh, I got it. It's gonna work.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to once again the Saturday Morning Cartoon Tech Problems.
This is my excursion TV, which I'm in love with. I realized saw yours, Mark. Oh, you saw my comment. Yeah, that's cool. Let me keep going with the Flintstones here. We got a lot of stuff. It's no wonder the Flintstones work so well as an adult sitcom. Most of the voice actors behind the characters worked on live action sitcoms too. In fact, just about all of them seem to pop up on the Beverly Hillbillies alone. While some of the Flintstone characters were portrayed by legendary voice actors who primarily worked off camera, a few tunes were brought to life by beloved stars of Petticoat Junction, The Carol Burnett Show, and The Andy Griffin Show. You can spot all of these Flintstones performers in 1960s television. Okay, let me go on with this. The reason that we are even revisiting, because we did do a Flintstones show before. Hold on, because I want to put nonstop Flintstones on my screen back here. Is because the Flintstones is debuting on MeTV one of my favorite channels in all human reality. So what's September 3rd? That's Monday.
Monday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and guess where I am Monday?
On a cruise?
6 p.m. Yeah. Okay, I'm laying on a deck, probably butt naked with a mic tie.
I don't need that image in my head. Thank you very much.
You've seen this image. You appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anyway, so I'm going to be on. Let's see. I don't want to see. This is my 24/7 channel. I don't want to see 24/7 a Pokemon or 24/7. Oh, Looney Tunes. I think I'm on the wrong one.
Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, they're debuting on MeTV. Which is a major coup for them because I love MeTV and I wish they would do more 60s cartoons because
I do too. I wish they'd do a Saturday morning cartoon slate.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be great.
What we're all about. You're right. That's a brilliant idea, Jerome. Just dedicate all of Saturday and just show,
forget all Saturday. Let's just do the traditional Saturday mornings. From 8 a.m. or even sometimes 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. That was what traditional Saturday morning cartoons were. Because by 1 p.m., your parents were sick of you. You weren't moving. You were eating more of that cereal. And they were like, get out of here. Go outside.
Yeah, my bowling's going to be on.
Exactly. or college football.
Ooh. Yeah, that's gonna be yes. That's exactly what it was. It's for college football,
right? Or in my case, in my house, though, unfortunately, the local UHF channel had their Creature double feature.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I got to see all the Godzilla films. I got to see a lot of the Frankenstein and Dracula films. I mean, that the man with two heads, the man with the X-ray eyes. Yeah, my folks really hated Saturday.
Hey, we're doing that someday. Anyway, so let's keep on track here with the Flintstones and everything that we know of the Flintstones. We did this show before. In fact, the clips you're going to see from when we did do this show before.
Oh, Garrett, man. Garrett's our friend. Read Garrett's comment.
Who's?
Garrett.
Garrett says, MeTV could do Saturday morning cartoon slate with the Kartoon Krew doing between episode commentary. You know what? Gary, that's a brilliant idea, and I think I may contact.
Wait a minute. They're the Kartoon Krew, aren't they?
Yes.
No, you can't do that, Garrett. Sorry. It would have to be us, not you.
Look, the creators of Saturday morning cartoon does not agree with the opinions made by one of the opinions, right? Yeah, basically, I speak for everyone in the Kartoon Krew. Kiss my ass, dude. But let me see if you guys remember one of these clips from. I keep seeing your fingers, Rose.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There goes that damn thumb again.
I think she's like the windshield wipers,
Right. Now, the Flintstones had so many fabulous characters. Okay, and we're gonna go through that in a minute. But this is probably one of our favorite characters. And after we play this, I'm going to read a little bit about the person who is playing the voice of this character. So enjoy this. This week. Well, wait a minute. Maybe I ought to press play.
Okay. Almighty Kazoo, I'd like a big juicy Brother burger. Hey, it works! How about $20? Hey, my turn. I want a beautiful new dress for my wife. Me too. I want a beautiful new dress for my wife. I'd like a gym set for Bam Bam. I'd like a new doll for Pebbles. We need some garden furniture. We need a new dining room set. New golf clubs. A fishing pole. Bowling ball.
Have your fun, fellows. But take heed, greed brings trouble. Which is now approaching. An officer of the law, I believe.
And you explain all this to him, will you, Gazoo?
I can't. You two are the only ones who can see me. All right, what's going on? What's all this stuff?
Oh, well, it just, no. Well, we just found it.
Oh, you found it, huh? Out here in the middle of the road, huh? All right, citation number 1. Failing to report stolen property.
Oh, this property wasn't stolen. It's ours. We were taking it home. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you were, huh? All right, citation number 2. Transporting stolen property.
We changed our minds. We don't want this stuff, at least for now.
As you wish.
Hey, and here's a challenge to the Kartoon Krew. Due to the fact that the Flintstones was in the 60s, how many sci-fi related sitcoms in the 60s can you name? And that's for the Kartoon Krew, but I'll go ahead and put it to Jerome and Rose. Rose, let's go to you, sweetheart.
Yes.
And why is look at my Fire Stick rebooting. What the hell, man?
Yeah, by the way, you also had a reverb. You had 2 microphones on.
Oh, stupid me. I don't even have my earplugs on. You're right.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So anyway, how many sci-fi related cartoons can you name, Rose, during that era? And I'm asking this question only because of the Great Gazoo showing up in a BC related cartoon series.
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Yeah, how come I'm not hearing you? Go ahead.
Does Johnny Quest count?
Could.
I'm trying to think. Was there a lot? I mean, I know there was a lot of sci-fi films that were coming out during that time.
All right, I'll give you a hint. My favorite Martian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And that's he looked a lot like with the little ears like that.
Yeah.
Jerome, you got one?
The Jetsons.
Yes, that's a good answer right there.
Yeah. But the thing is though, the sci-fi sitcom wasn't really I mean, you had things like Batman. I don't know if you consider that science fiction. You had Julie Newmar was in something about a doll, and she was a robot or something.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah, very good.
There was My Mother the Car, which was sort of a fantasy show.
Supernatural kind of thing.
Right, Mr. Ed, horses talking.
Yeah, I don't know what category Mr. Ed would fall into. Fantasy?
Strange.
Fantasy, yeah.
Yeah. But you'd always, I mean, the before Mr. Ed, there was Francis the Talking Mule.
Oh yes, black and white with
but comedy-wise, for sitcoms, they didn't really do that many other than like The Martian and some of the others we've mentioned, simply because they couldn't do the effects.
Yeah, Terry mentioned Space Ghost. By the way, from Ireland, good morning, Terry, or good afternoon, Terry.
Sage is right.
He actually mentioned my most favorite cartoon character, second favorite, next to Johnny Quest, would be Space Ghost. So good job on that. Cheryl said Lost in Space and Jets.
But see, here's the thing
Lost
about
in Space. That's a good one.
Here's the funny thing. Lost in Space started off real serious. Okay, you watched the early black and white episodes.
You're right. Very good.
And then it took a very surreal change when it became Technicolor.
Well, and it ventured into comedy thanks to Dr. Smith.
Well, he was a pretty badass villain
in the original.
The
first few episodes in black and white. Man, he was a devious SOB. But then they went on and comedy him up.
Well, because they found that the kids were watching Lost in Space more than the adults.
Yeah.
And that's when you got into the surreal aspect and the Technicolor. If you look at the moment they crash land and they're on the planet and they're sort of
remember that giant with the Cyclops giant with the single eye, that was trying to destroy the freaking spaceship. Serious
stuff. And then they got Technicolor, and that's when they went with surreal.
Right. Hey, Terry made another good point. He said Land of the Giants, which I am okay.
I don't know if I call that comedy.
Okay, hold on. I got a point to make. The older you get, the less sleep you need. Okay. Check this out. I find myself waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But when it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, or actually it would be a Sunday morning, it's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, The Time Tunnel, Lost in Space, and Land of the Giants. Okay.
Nice.
Erlen Allen. Man, you're doing an Erlen Allen marathon.
All of this is on MeTV, but they decided that, only the old people wake up this hour watching this stuff. And damn them to hell, My favorite classic 60s. You guys are making some great points here in the Kartoon Krew room here. Lost in Space was a hybrid, part drama with funny highlights. Gary is absolutely right.
Right.
There were
Planet Apes was the 70s, though.
Yes,
Leonard
Land of the
Show was
Lost.
the 70.
Land of the Lost, Sage and Terry was in the 70s. Okay, they both said that at the same time. I'm specifically mentioning 60s, and the reason for that is because of the Great Gazoo's appearance on the Flintstones. Why would they do that? Only because science fiction during the 60s is pretty much coming up. And I'm trying to, like the Twilight.
Because we had Star Trek too. Star Trek was,
of course,
but it wasn't comedy though. That's the thing.
No, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not really mentioning comedy. It's just sfi in general.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
As you can see, guys, I'm running through photos here of basic Flintstones things. But let me go ahead and let's talk about the cast. Okay, and let's go with the first. Oh, let's not go with the first one, as I was going to do. I actually want to go to the voice of the Great Gazoo. Jerome, I know you know. Don't say anything. Rhodes, who was the voice of the Great Gazoo?
Harvey Korman.
Very good. The brilliant comedian was an essential player on the Carol Burnett Show and carried his role of Ed Higgins over to Mama's Family on a few special occasions, all you can see on MeTV. Did you know he was also the tiny floating green alien on the Flintstones? Yes, that was Harvey Korman, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know. Continuing with more of the cast people from the Flintstones, let's go ahead and go to the top. The voice of the Flintstones, okay? We begin naturally with Fred. Alan Reed had dozens of small live-action roles, most notably as Sally Tomato in Breakfast at Tiffany's. He logged plenty of TV gigs, too. He played the boss of an Elvis-like rock star on the Beverly Hillbillies. That episode was called Teenage Idol. And turned up in Have Gun Will Travel, one of my favorite Westerns, Peter Gunn, and Make Room for Daddy. Here is Reed, and they got a picture I'm not showing you guys. Here is Reed in the Batman episode, The Penguin Sets. The Batman episode, Penguin Sets a Trend, in which he played a military general at the Hexagon. And I can, in fact...
Hexagon, I love that.
Hexagon, it's great.
I can, in fact, I think I can share this screen. Stand by, guys. Let me see if I can show you what I'm reading. But that was, let's see, I gotta bring the Flintstones down because I can only put up 4 at a time. Here's a screen that I'm sharing. Let me try to do a solo. And there is Alan Reed. Okay, so let's stay on this so I don't have to keep popping this back and forth here. Then we have Gene Vanderpyle. No, Gene Vander. What kind of name is that? How can
Is it Pill? Is it Vanderpill?
No, my problem is the middle name. Who names their child Vander?
Well, that may be a family. That may be
it's probably like a hyphen last name. Maybe that was like her maiden name or something.
Or it may be a family name. Something. Like her maiden name was Vander or something. Whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, her first name could be Jean, and then you're right. It could be Vander as maiden, Pyle as married. Okay, the voice of Gene Vanderpyle will forever be associated with both Wilma and Rosie the Robot on the Jetsons. The vast majority of her resume is Hanna-Barbera voice work, but she did make a handful of guest appearances on Leave It to Beaver. Here she is playing Mrs. Woods, the mother to Penny, Beaver's classmate with the blonde. Is that the pain in the ass little girl on Beaver the Cleaver? Beaver the Cleaver.
I think so, yeah.
Beaver the Cleaver. Yeah, actually, I think it was a dark-haired, kind of heavy-set little kid that was always a pain in the butt to Beaver on Beaver the Cleaver, so that wasn't her.
You mean Eddie Haskell?
You did it again.
You mean Eddie Haskell?
No, I'm talking female. This is one of Beaver's classmates. There was a little
I don't remember that.
Yeah, very arrogant little piece of crap. Anyway,
I never watched that show.
Here we go with Barney Rubble, Mel Blanc. No voice actor will likely ever have the impact of Mel Blanc.
But he was.
Hold on. The brilliant performer was Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Tweety Bird, Sylvester the Cat, Yosemite Sam, Foghorn, and many, many others. And that's just the Looney Tunes. Of course, he was Woody Woodpecker and Barney Rubble too. The man of 1,000 voices rarely appeared on screen as an actor, but he did turn up once as a driver on the Beverly Hillbillies, titled Granny Learns to Drive. Go ahead, Jerome. Now you may speak.
Mel was only in 5 episodes of the Flintstones.
Oh, good.
Season 2. Okay. Episodes 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9 only. The other person was Dawes Butler, who did Barney most of the time.
Got it. I'm going to go ahead and read this comment that Garrett just put up. Interesting that while Flintstones makes us all nostalgic, I can actually put this freaking up. Its adult audience was drawn to it in the 60s by their nostalgia for the earlier honeymooners. So we're nostalgic for their nostalgia. How meta is that? All right.
Oh Lord. All right.
that is
We're gonna have to work on
pretty
your
meta.
dialogue, dude.
All right.
Yeah, I get what he's saying, but go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning to Richard, David, and Trina.
Okay, now let's go ahead and get to the voice that I did not know until this morning. Stupid of me. Betty Rubble, Pearl Bodine, Banner Durrett. Yeah, Banner Durrett was a regular on the Beverly Hillbillies, though she was almost cast as Granny. And she went on to headline her own rural humor sitcom as the widowed Kate Bradley on Petticoat Junction. Alan Reed dropped by the Shady Rest Hotel in an episode of Petticoat. Sadly, Bernadette passed away in 1968. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. You know, I like the fact that she was Betty Rubble. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here's the other Betty Rubble, and either you or Jerome hopefully will know this or anyone else. Who established that? Because I don't have the answer to it. This is a question. Who established that Betty Rubble laugh?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, let's read about Jerry Johnson, the other Betty Rubble. Johnson took over for Bernadette as Betty in 1964. She had just a few acting credits. By the way, who was alive in 1964? Raise your hand.
Yo.
Not me.
I was
about a decade off.
I was.
1964?
Born in 1963.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
Oh yeah. I'm as of today, I am 1 month away from my 56th birthday.
Yes, you are older than dirt. I understand that.
Hey, listen, pal, you should talk.
I am talking. Here we go. Betty Rubble. Johnson took over for Bernadette as Betty in 1964. She had just a few acting credits to her name, but you can catch her at the end of the Bewitched episode, Visions of Sugar Plums. In the charming Christmas tale, she and her husband, Bill Daly of the Bob Newhart Show and I Dream of Jeannie, turns up to adopt Billy Mooney. Oh my God. Man, we're getting some classic history here.
Oh, geez.
Odie says she was alive. Deanna says hello, everyone. Hello. Let's see. Terry said, oh, good God. 2 decades out from me? No freaking way. You were born in the 80s? Terry, how old are you?
Young whippersnapper.
You Irish sugar plum you. Okay, and Cheryl says something that didn't pop up. What's Cheryl say? She just said M. I have no idea what.
And then the next one.
The next one says me. Cheryl, you're too pretty to be that old. And Sage goes, my hand is not up. You damn right your hand not up, you little whippersnapper. You're a cute little whippersnapper, but you're still a baby. And you can take off your diapers now. Hey, maybe I'm wearing diapers. Okay, let's go real quick.
I don't need to know
that. John Stevenson was Mr. Slate. Stevenson had a voice made for a pushy boss, so it was no wonder he appeared multiple times as different military men on Hogan's Heroes. Here we see him playing the spy Decker in Bad Day in Berlin, but also played Professor Bauer, Captain Mueller, Major Rudolph, Major Kohler, and an Inspector General in the World War II sitcom. You can also spot him in F Troop, Gomer Pyle, USMC, Gomer Pyle, USMC, The Man from Uncle Perry Mason, and Bonanza. And yes, he too was on Beverly Hillbillies. It was like, Jerome and Rose, like the 40s.
Yeah.
When you had contract players. You move forward to the 60s, and you will in fact see these characters on multiple sitcoms back in the 60s, and it just freaking cracked me up because you yell out, "I just saw you on F Troop."
Yeah, but you also got to remember a couple things about that time frame, okay? We were ending the studio stable of actors was ending. Okay,
right.
They were starting to end that. They were starting to go into what they called the new wave of filmmaking. So all these young actors that were coming up, in most cases, did not want to work in established shows or movies.
Yeah, because they were afraid of getting typecast too.
Well, not just typecast, but they wanted to be creative. They wanted to do something different. They wanted to, they wanted to be hip.
Branch out, sure.
Okay. And so what do you've got? You've got a lot of these standard character actors who are versatile and reliable.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Remember, it's show business.
Gotcha.
You got to show up on time. And so these guys knew the business. They would show up on time. They would be ready, and they would go.
Gotcha.
Did they make a lot of money? Hell no.
Okay. All right. So we did Harvey Korman. Good point, by the way, Jerome. Who the hell was Mrs. Slaghoople?
I have no idea.
Oh, that is Wilma's mother.
Oh, Fred's mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
Wilma's mother. Yes.
That's right. I
All right.
forgot all about her name.
As played by Janet Waldo. Waldo is best remembered as Judy Jetson, but the experienced voice actor also provided many voices for the Flintstones, including Teenage Pebbles and Mrs. Slaghoople. Here she is in a rare live-action performance as a concerned daughter, objecting to her mother's marriage on Petticoat Junction, entitled Young Love. And here is one of my most favorite voice actors and Andy Griffin Show alumni, Howard Morris. Mayberry's kooky beloved Ernest T. Bass. He's a nut. Gave life to dozens of colorful tunes on the Flintstones. Too many to list here. He was everything from weirdly gruesome to doctors, monkeys, and birds on the animated series. Okay, so that is our list of character actors on the Beverly Hillbillies. The Beverly Hillbillies on the Flintstones. Got Beverly Hillbillies.
Man, you're having a hard time today.
This is when you're doing 17 things at the same time. Sage says Slaghoople. That sounds like slang for something naughty. Yeah, leave it to Sage.
But I gotta admit,
Leave it to Sage.
I loved Wilma's mother.
Oh, I did too.
You know, she just did not take any guff from Fred, but she also conceded that Fred did love Wilma.
Did you ever, any of you guys ever see Bye Bye Birdie?
Yes.
Parts of it.
Do you remember Dick Van Dyke's mother in Bye Bye Birdie?
No.
No, I don't.
She was a Slaghoople. She was almost exactly like Slaghoople. She was concerned that the girl in, I think it was Janet Leigh, I can't remember, I think it was Janet Leigh, who was Dick Van Dyke's love interest in Bye Bye Birdie. They were going to get married and she wanted to step in, yada, yada, yada. But eventually she married this guy and wanted, blessings from her own son at that time. So it's really funny. If you see Bye Bye Birdie again, just kind of look at the mom. And Deanna, yes, kiss my ass. Anyway, so other than that, Deanna wants to thank us for being older than her. And we're probably older than a lot of people, Jerome and I. Now that I know Jerome is only a few years younger than me. There are a lot of people in here. So as you can see behind me on my incredible streaming service, and 2 days ago, I made the decision that I'm going to cut my cable. I'm going to probably wait about a week. But the only reason that I was holding on to my cable TV was because of Turner Classic Movies. And I'm a big Turner Classic Movie fan. And that was the reason for me to pay more money for cable because of Turner Classic Movies. But I realized my Excursion TV, which you guys should get into, has Turner Classic Movies on it now. So there's no reason for me to cut cable.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I'm over the moon. I can save tons of money every month now by just cutting cable. So anyway, Cheryl says she'll be 60 in December. Wow.
You're looking good, Cheryl.
Wow. I think she's also, Deborah's been drinking. Let's look at this. Bow Chicka Wow Wow Miss. Yeah, Cheryl.
Ooh, Cheryl.
Cheryl's been drinking. She's been doing some cougar stuff. Let's see. What kind of video? I got an intro here. Go ahead, Jerome.
Good morning to Joe.
Good morning, Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm watching the watch party, and
no.
We want to say hello to all these fine people that come and watch our show.
And I'm so glad that they're on with us and they're watching our show. We try to entertain you each and every week with classic cartoons. We implore that you guys give us some ideas of some cartoons you want us to focus on. Hold on, Jerome. Hold on. You got to do this, Jerome. You know that, don't you? We're looking forward to you guys giving us some ideas on future shows so that we can go ahead and whoa, I was about to say and service you, but you know what I mean. Go ahead, Jerome.
Oh. So if we can get back to the Flintstones.
Yes, we are, Jerome. Okay. Go ahead, Jerome.
One of my favorite episodes was when Betty and Wilma decided to go into business.
Okay.
And they bought a drive-in.
Yes, I love the drive-in episode.
And what was hysterical was when they hired the two bellhops, and the song and dance routine that they did as their audition. If you could have found that, that would have been dynamite.
I don't know that one, but I tell you what, let's drop this.
I don't know if it was Betty. Was it Betty and Wilma that went into the business, or was it Fred and?
It was Fred. It was Fred and Barney, and then the girls at the end they redo the routine. I've seen that. That's on YouTube. That's like one of my favorite clips. And they humiliate them in public at the end at the restaurant. Yeah.
And you know what? After watching that episode, I can never. You know how when you go to the restaurant, right? They deliver you the food, and there's that parsley snip. And they make a reference to the parsley snip in there because they're going, as anybody who's done a business, you got to start with your suppliers and all that. And they go, well, why do you need the parsley snip for? And they said, well, you put it on the plate. They go, well, why? Nobody eats it. And he goes, because you have to throw it away. I can never look at parsley snips on food after that episode.
I'm gonna do you a favor real quick. Bear with me real quick, guys, as I go through clicking everywhere.
Good morning, Mr. Glazer. Yeah, that was a great episode. That one, and also when Fred decided to move the mother-in-law house.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Stand by, guys. Hold that thought, please.
Burger on a bun, yes. Sound. There you go.
See how long this clip is.
I gotta admit it. You girls are real good sports, not being sore about that. You know what?
Well, we all make mistakes, Fred. You got your job back. That's the important thing.
And after all, you managed to get rid of the you-know-what with only a 50% loss.
Will you excuse us, Fred? Betty and I are going to nose our powder.
Sure, honey. Take your time.
Yeah, when you get back, we'll have a little dance, huh?
Barney boy, there go two of the good ones.
You said it, Fred.
Some wives that keep hammering and yammering at you just because you made a little mistake.
Yeah, try to make her feel small.
Right, but not Wilma and Betty. They haven't even mentioned the subject.
They've dismissed it from their minds.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rockadero Club brings you a special attraction tonight. A little number dedicated to the gentlemen at Table 6, Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble.
Wilma?
Betty!
Here we come on the run with a burger on a bun and a dab of coleslaw on the side. Oh, your taste we will tickle with a cold dill pickle. And all of our potatoes are french fried, fried, fried. Our burgers can't be beat, cause we grind our own meat. Grind, 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 grind. Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble are to blame for all our trouble. And if they think that we'll forget, they're under mine.
All right, I found that for you real quick, Rose.
Thank you. That
Thank
was
you.
Mrs. Flintstone and Mrs. Rubble. They call themselves Charlie and Irving.
Charlie and Irving. Oh my God, I don't know what to say about that now. But that was great, guys in the chat room. Cheryl said, "Wait, didn't they just swap colors?" Now,
Yes,
Cheryl,
they did.
men will not. Well, Jerome's not a man. Men will not notice that. Only the women, okay, will pick that up. I have no idea what she's talking about. Do you?
I
Jerome?
do. Yes, the dresses changed colors.
Yes.
And then with that, and Cheryl, what that is the only reason I know that is because I know the techniques involved. It was a cell issue. You could tell that they changed cells for the film from one scene to the next, and that's basically what it came down to. It looked like they were using a previously colored cell.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna have to smack you next time I see you.
Next time, you've never seen me.
Yeah. You just wait till next year. I got a plan for this.
All right. Hey, once again, we're doing a segment here on Saturday Morning Cartoons based on the Flintstones, the second most popular animated primetime series in history, second behind The Simpsons, of course. But the Flintstones is debuting on MeTV this Monday. Okay, this Monday, I think at 6 p.m. I think
6
here on the
p.m.
East Coast, and we're looking forward to that. But one thing to note here: they are not starting off with the first episode of the Flintstones. They are starting off with season 1, and in fact, I had the schedule up, and I didn't. Full schedule. Bear with me, but I'm going to tell you what the first few episodes that are happening this week. Once I gear it up. Come on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the joys that I always had with the Flintstones, and my friend Corey here mentioned it also, is the gadgets.
Thank you for saying that. Hold on.
God, the gadgets would just kill you.
Keep talking, Jerome. I think.
Okay, so the telephone was a conch shell. I loved that. Okay, if you looked at the lawnmower was some critter on a set of wheels that was just basically eating the grass as they went along. The garbage disposal, if I remember, was a pig underneath the sink.
Yes.
Right. The record player was some bird with a long beak. With the camera was great. With some guy looking out some bird or some critter looks out the lens, and then carves out the picture. I mean, they just the gadgets that they did were just hysterical more and more. I think it was an octopus was the pin
dishwasher.
setter. Okay.
Yes, there was a pin setter. Yeah.
Yeah, the pin setter because
the pin setter.
Yeah, Fred was a serious bowler.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love the way he bowled too. on the little tippy toes and all that kind of stuff. And it was just the dishwasher was fantastic, Terry.
And I have a question though. On the car, if you notice carefully when they're looking out the front, there's this little flappy piece that just always seems to always
the canopy over top of them, and I think that's the pretty much convince the public that was a piece of fabric because it needed to flap. I'm sure it was, dinosaur skin or something because I don't think they were doing a lot of sewing back then. Although, if you look at Fred's outfit, I wonder how that thing stays on.
There's some seams. There are seams if you look carefully.
There are seams.
But you can look at the gadgets, and the gadgets were always a riot. Whatever they were doing.
The gadgets
they had
were
the baby elephant vacuum cleaner.
There you go. That's right,
that's
Rose.
It. Yes. Let's see. Fred and Wilma, were one of the first television couples to sleep in the same bed. It seems strange now that married couples weren't allowed to share a bed on American television, but watch enough old TV shows like Dick Van Dyke, for example, and you'll see that indeed husbands and wives usually slept in separate beds. While many sources claim that Fred and Wilma were the very first couple to share a bed on American television, that title actually belongs to Mary Kay and Johnny, a sitcom that ran from 1947. Were you born, Jerome? From 1947 to 1950.
I'll ask my dad.
Still, Fred and Wilma were one of the first, and definitely the first animated people. Pretty progressive for a Stone Age family.
Ozzie and Harriet also were one of the early ones too.
Yes, they were. Ozzie and Harriet were early
but
sinners as well.
It did cause a minor controversy when Lucy announced she was pregnant, and they kept showing them constantly in separate beds. Okay.
Well, I don't want to sleep in bed with a pregnant woman. Who knows?
I have.
Okay, fine. If I got to rush her to the hospital, I think we need to change the sheets first. Okay. That's why I'm in my separate bed.
Yeah.
Gary said, "Hi, Mom." I'm assuming that's Maria. So, hi, Mom. Or hi, Maria, I guess I should say on that. I need to show you guys this next clip here as we go through clips and we talk about the Flintstones. Then I got a bunch of stuff to ask you guys or talk to you guys about.
All right, before you start, just good morning to Bonnie and Carlisle.
Hey, Bonnie and Carlisle. Yay. Where are they?
Bonnie's out of Nashua, New Hampshire, and she's a former coworker. We used to call her my work wife.
Ooh.
And Carlisle is out of Albany right now.
Yay, I know Albany, part of the Tri-City area. Guys, let's watch this, see what we got.
Oh, I know this one.
Who do they call when when the chips are starting to fall. Just when the villains are winning, the trouble's beginning to brew. The man called Flintstone.
I'm a Bond dancer.
Yeah, I noticed.
Who's always there to rescue some maiden fair. A man with instincts unerring, full of the old daring do. The man called Flintstone. That's who.
He thrives on a
Who's
Did you guys
Jennifer
ever see the?
Voice of Rocky.
and he's no stranger through the long shots at the
Who is the man? The man called Flintstone.
Yay! They actually did a movie based on the Flintstones called The Man Called Flintstone, as we all just heard. Hey, I want to say hi to Garrett's mom, D. What's her name? D.
Murray.
D. You did an incredible job with your son. Applause, applause, applause. Good job. Don't have any more children. Okay, so anyway,
So
go ahead.
So, I don't know if you remember this episode. There was an episode, and I think it was pre-Jetsons, where the Flintstones go to the far future.
Yes.
Okay. And there was so much commentary on there that applies to even today, especially about credit, the financial aspects of it.
Okay.
Okay. That Fred didn't have to pay for anything. He just signed for it, and he'd have to pay for it much later, and implications of large interest rates. And it was an interesting episode because of the commentary that it made, because the good cartoons like the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and some of the others that we've talked about in the past all made commentary that if you were watching, you caught it, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome. Okay, a little more known facts here on the Flintstones. Thank you for that, Jerome. Appreciate it. A new Flintstone project has been in the works for years. I won't go through that. We've already seen animated. You know what? Leave the stuff alone. I don't like reboots and rehashes. And
they did the live action. That's it. Let it go.
They did 2 live actions, and you're right. Let it go. We're done. We love the Flintstones, but you're not helping us love the Flintstones by doing really, really bad knockoff characters. Okay. It took 9 years and 32 writers to bring the live-action Flintstones movie to the big screen. Even though the 1994 film grossed $341+ million at the world box office, the film was in development hell for years. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. I think it was great casting, by the way. Steven Spielberg, who directed John Goodman in Always, recommended Goodman for the role of Fred. Right. In 1993, 8 writers wrote a new draft of the script, but only 3 writers were credited. Yada, yada, yada. That is boring. The plot of the final film centers around a work scheme and kidnapping, but an earlier version had a Grapes of Wrath-like plot. I don't even remember it that well, but Fred and Barney leave their town during a terrible depression and go across the country or whatever that damn prehistoric thing is, looking for jobs, says Mitch Markowitz, one of the earlier writers. They wind up in trailer parks trying to keep their families together. They exhibit moments of heroism and poignancy. So I'm glad they didn't follow through with that.
I didn't either because I never saw that.
That sounds horrible, actually.
I mean, I remember when they went to Texas.
Right. Oh, that was a plot that they were thinking of filming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So luckily that did not get filmed because
look, it's the horn.
Where?
Look at your picture when he pulls the tail for the end of the day horn. It's another gadget.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, and over your shoulder is the shower.
Go back. Hold on. Right there.
Yeah, and then over your shoulder is the elephant blowing the water for the shower.
Yes. And of course, all the animals have to make a comment.
Oh, of course they do.
After their action, something like the garbage disposal warthog underneath the sink says, and it's something like, and I'm making this up, and I wanted to be a plumber. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's something like that. Yeah.
They always have to make
sarcasm.
Always sarcastic. Yeah. You know, and there's the steam engine dinosaur that Fred runs. You know.
Yeah, which is absolutely fantastic. I think it's brilliant the way these guys would just sit around a table and they just blurt out these really incredible ideas. I want to know which ones were denied, which ones were rejected. You know, like, oh, okay. The actor provided the voice. Speaking of, according to according to Harvey Korman, the Great Gazoo is worth money. The actor provided the voice of the superior and arrogant and elite Great Gazoo, a green alien, for 13 episodes from 1964 to 1966. Corman told METV Legends, that was the show back then, that he didn't realize how popular and lucrative the character was until he attended conventions. Some years back, I traveled for Hanna-Barbera, Corman said. They had these huge conventions and seminars where collectors collect cells, and the cells with the Great Gazoo on it are worth lots of money. Collectors on eBay and stuff want my autograph, you know? So, yeah, welcome to
if you listen to the Great Gazoo, you can hear Hedy Lamarr.
Oh, Hedley.
That's Hedley.
Hedley. You guys in the Kartoon Krew, thank you so much. I love seeing Dino. Was Dino behind me? Oh, okay. My Fire Stick is rebooting, I think, because I'm taxing the internet limit just by holding this show. So that's why it's popping in and out like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dina. Captain Caveman was not part of the Flintstones.
Captain Caveman! Yes, Dina, you are so wrong, you young buck. See, that's what happens to young children these days.
Oh, I know.
They can't keep up. They do it wrong. They say, okay, what was the car's name? The car had a name?
I don't recall.
I did not know that.
No, I don't remember that.
I'm challenging you, Garrett. Find me a episode or something where they even mention anything on Google. Google it, I guess.
That's where I'm headed.
I didn't know the car had a name. I love the brake system that they had on the car, by the way. I think coming to a dead stop or even slowing down must pay hell for a podiatrist back then.
Yeah, I was going to say, the podiatrist. Oh, my goodness.
They must have had a whole freaking community of podiatrists back during those times. You know, it's like, I don't know, doctor, but this brake is not working right, you know. Anyway, let's see. He was a guest. Who was a guest? Who was a guest? What was the cat's name? Oh, the cat's name, the Sabertooth.
Okay, so
I read that wrong, my guys. He wasn't talking about the car. I'm reading
He's
small
talking about
text.
the cat. Oh, yes,
Okay.
that was like in the earlier episodes.
That's a great question.
Barney's car had a name.
Who?
Barney's car had a name.
I didn't know Barney had a car.
Yeah,
it's the double pencil car.
Yeah, it's the Rubblestone Special, and it was part of Indian Rockalypse 500.
Well, I'm glad I made that mistake. We were actually supposed to be talking about a cat, and we got in the car. Yes, yeah, up yours, Garrett. Never mind. Anyway,
Baby Puss. Baby Puss.
Baby Puss?
That's what it says.
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Is the pet saber-toothed cat, which is rarely seen in the actual series, but is always seen throwing Fred out of the house during the end credits.
Baby
Fred.
Puss?
That's
Baby.
what it says.
All right, rejected. Anyways, so and that cat disappeared over future episodes. In fact, was the damn cat in any episode?
I think it was in one because there was an episode where Wilma had him take the cat out for the night, I think, and he had to pick it up and take it out.
Yeah, carry it out. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder why they got rid of the cat. Maybe it's just too many characters.
Because they had Dino.
Yeah, but
because it was cat. Yeah, you're right. Too many characters. So I've got Dino now, who you can do more with, like a dog.
Yes.
It's easier to portray.
You're right.
The attitude of a cat.
You're
and
right.
Remember that Dino originally spoke.
Yes.
And then they got rid of that.
But you're right on that, Jerome. Cats suck. They're useless. They just lay around.
No,
Rose has a cat. Rose, does your cat not give you attitude worse than a teenager?
Oh, they're totally attitude.
See, there you go. See, there you go.
Well, let me tell you something about your cat, Rose. Okay, your cat sucks. Okay, just wanted to point. Nothing personal. Okay, this is business.
Well, sometimes I think the same way. Yeah, so.
Cats.
She's living through the teenage years of her kids.
I know you hate cats, Mark. I know you do.
I don't hate cats more than I just don't trust cats. This is not
That's
a
also
critter.
understandable.
This is not a critter that you can play with. Oh yeah, sure, you can do a laser pointer on the floor and let them chase it, but that cat's not interacting with you. That cat's concentrating on that little freaking red dot running around the floor at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Okay, so I don't trust cats. This is not. Anyway, Flintstone's going to be showing up on MeTV starting Monday at 6 p.m. I'll be in the middle of the Caribbean while that's happening.
My heart's bleeding for you.
Well, you know,
What episodes are they going to show, Mark? You said you were going to look up and see what episodes they're going to show.
Yes, I had a list here, and I missed the list, but I will get back to it. Keep talking while I advance my way.
Wasn't the first episode with the helicopter thingy that they make?
The first episode, which I cannot remember, but it was really kind of quirky animation, if you remember it. It wasn't, in my opinion, improved animation. You can tell it was the first episode of something. And
it's the Flintstone Flyer.
The Flintstone Flyer. Yeah.
Yes, the Flintstone
Hang on a second here.
Flyer.
Let me see what I can find on that one. Hang on a second here.
I think I had do you guys remember those little projector things? I think I had like one of those that told the story of the Flintstone Flyer.
What are you talking about, those little projector things?
Yeah, the Viewmaster.
Okay,
here it is.
I found it.
I did too.
It's something out of the 1920s.
Huh?
If you look at the Flintstone Flyer that Barney is sitting on that they've got to try to fly, it's something out of the 1920s.
Gotcha.
Early
I thought
days
you were
of
talking
trying
about the episode.
I think it flaps its wings too. I think.
Yes.
Okay. Fred and Barney scheme to go bowling with the boys instead of a promised evening at the opera with their wives. That's all it says. I'm literally on MeTV's episode guide for the Flintstones. That is episode 1. You'll see Monday. It doesn't mention anything about Flintstone Flyer, but we know it exists. It just wasn't written well. Episode 2, Fred believes he's made Wilma and Betty disappear with a magician's kit, but soon finds that he's mistaken. Okay, these descriptions of these episodes are horrible. So
yeah, they are.
I'm sure they're a lot better than that. Terry is got to run. Yes, Terry.
Bye, Terry.
Bye, Terry.
Thanks for being with us.
Probably getting close to dinner time over there.
My former roommate Sue is online.
Hey, former roommate Sue. How you do? Never mind.
Good morning, Sue. Glad to see you. I got to give you a call and talk to you about some things.
Okay.
All right.
So
Sue and I are old friends.
Well, you know, I'm sure you have old friends. I'm pulling up another episode clip for you guys.
So you got that. So you had the wonderful aspects of the gadgets. They also had some pretty good celebrity guest stars.
Yes, and it's funny that you said that because that is the next clip that I'm bringing up. Let's start with that.
Are you doing Tony or are you doing Samantha? Or
why should I tell you? Why are you ruining it for an audience? Okay, where's your professionalism? Where is your professionalism?
Jump in the gun there.
Okay, good grief. All right, hold on. Let's try this.
Stoney Curtis, famous Holly Rock movie star, checks in at Sandstone Hotel this morning. New movie entitled Slave Boy will be filmed here in Bedrock. And here he is. Let's get up close.
Girls, please, will you hold it for a minute? And listen, my director, Rocco Heminger, has an announcement to make.
In celebration of Stoney's new picture, Slave Boy, we are going to have a lucky sweepstakes. The winner will have Stoney as their personal slave boy for 1 day.
Fill out your cards in the lobby, girls, and good luck.
Did you hear that, Wilma? What are we waiting for? Let's fill out a card.
You're not a boy. You're not a boy.
Well, looks like we lost out on the sweepstakes ticket, Betty. Uh-oh, I hear Fred's car pulling up. Talk to you later, Betty.
Nice meeting you, Barney.
Likewise, Mr. Stoney. My pleasure. See you in the morning, Fred.
Right.
Nice guy, huh?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something, Curtis. He ain't no phony. Now, shall we go inside?
Sure. But shouldn't we have called your wife to let her know about me?
What for? You're nothing special. Come on. Hey, Wilma, I'm home.
Coming, Fred. Dinner is almost ready.
Good evening, Mrs. Flintstone. I'm Stoney Curtis, your slave boy.
Stoney Curtis? Stoney Curtis! Yeah! Stoney Curtis? Stoney Curtis! Daddy, get over here! It's Stoney Curtis! Good evening, Frederick.
Frederick?
And Mr. Curtis, what a pleasant surprise.
Wait a cotton-picking minute. What is this pleasant surprise stuff? You saw us here a minute ago.
Oh, that must have been the maid. Come in, Mr. Curtis, come in.
Thank you, Mrs. Flintstone.
Oh, Fred's getting an attitude.
Wilma! Oh, slave boy, when you get the rocks moved and the garage cleaned, you can start building the new wall.
Yes, Sahib, I hear and obey.
After that, you can knock off with some bread and water for 10 minutes.
Oh, Flintstone, you're all heart. So long, folks. See you in the movies.
So long, Stoney.
And as I mentioned before, playing a guest star voice role on the Flintstones was the big thing back then to get a part on. So, well, yeah. What other actors do you remember, Jerome?
Well, they did a Bewitched.
Yeah, they did. What's her name? Samantha. No, yes, the character's name was Samantha, but what's her actor's name?
I don't know. Oh, Elizabeth Montgomery.
Thank you, thank you.
Right,
Elizabeth Montgomery.
They did a Addams Family reference
with the
Gruesomes.
The Gruesomes. That's right.
Right. I know they did like some rock and roll stuff.
Yes, they
some
did.
Like a Beatles reference. The Bugs. Right. And I'm trying to think of what else they did. I mean, they did a couple of them, more than just what that. And by the way, when they talk about Slave Boy, do you know the movie reference that they're talking about, right?
Has it been her?
No, that's Charlton Heston.
Right. No. It's wait, don't say anything. Spartacus.
Thank you.
Which, by the way, oh my God, it comes on at 2:00 this afternoon on Turner Classic Movies. I am Spartacus.
Wait a minute. You can't watch it. You're supposed to be going out buying stuff for your cruise.
I'll be back. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, so
I wish I could get in a shower as fast as Wilma did in that scene. I wish
The mud pack was classic. I don't know. Yeah. Rose, have you ever worn a mud pack? Deanna, have you ever worn a mud pack? Sage, have you ever worn a mud pack?
Have you ever worn a mud pack?
Any of you girls that are on right now, have you worn mud packs? And why? And why? Hey, how's Kara doing, by the way?
She's on her second version of a cast because when the swelling goes down, they got to get another one. She's breathing much better because for those who don't know, my wife broke 2 bones in her hand and cracked a rib.
Okay.
I did not know she cracked a rib.
Oh yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible pain.
Yeah.
So she's on the mend.
Yep, and she's doing much better. Of course, as I like to tell people, I went from being a husband and dad of my daughter Gwen to being a single parent of 2 kids.
Got
it. Because it's her dominant hand.
I can teach you how to cook.
No, you can't. Yeah, he's got a restaurant on speed dial, and he's got the fire department on speed dial too.
Hey man, come on! You can have Tootsie Rolls for dinner. You don't need any of that crap.
Yeah, that's why you had the bag of lettuce the other night.
Okay, so Cody says the mud pack is good for the skin. Okay, whatever. And Mike says hi.
My friend Carlisle says yes, they work.
Really? Wait a minute. Yeah. Carlisle, is that a female name?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because I think that's a guy's name too.
Yeah, well, Carlisle is yeah.
I was about to ask, how does your buddy Carlisle know that it's good for the skin?
Well, some men use mud packs, you know.
Some men do. Especially it's what it does is it opens the pores. So if you've got like there used to be a cure for acne.
Yeah. Okay, if you say so. Yaba Daba Doo. All right.
So some of the celebrities, what you were talking about, how it was a popular thing to be on there. It's kind of like what Batman used to be,
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever use a mud pack? Wait a minute. The wife says she's used a mud pack.
Hey, Jerome, you didn't think of saying this. You don't need a mud pack, baby.
He says you don't need a mud pack, baby.
Okay.
That's the exact words he used. Oh, she just gave me a snap attitude. She just went out,
Hey, by the way, Rock Hudson was also a character that was on
That's right.
The Flintstones as well. I'm not sure, Rock, whatever. I know they always changed it up.
Yep.
I think it was Rock Granite, wasn't it?
Granite.
Oh, that's probably correct.
Hang on a second here. Let's see if we can find some more information about
Deanna's being not funny, just so you know. She's like me. She says microwaves are great for cooking, but she's actually right. Okay, a microwave is good for cooking. What's she saying?
Oh, my wife's giving me grief. My wife's giving me grief.
Okay, all right. The voice of Wilma thinks she and Fred really loved each other. Jean Vanderpyle supplied the voice of Wilma Flintstone from the show's beginning to the day she died in 1999. Though Wilma and Fred argued a lot, they did have a rock-solid relationship. I love the bum, Pyle told the Los Angeles Times in 1989. Sure, Fred was a yahoo, and I got mad at him all the time, but we really loved each other. Our romance was one of the things that made us so popular. We were real. Pyle also voiced Rosie the Robot and Mrs. Spacely on the Jetsons, but it's Wilma who made her famous. I know I'm going to get killed for saying this, but Wilma had a great housewife whine to her voice, Pyle said. She commanded enough authority to run the house, but kept an equal amount of warmth. Wilma is a communicator, and a lot of women relate to that. At least I know I do. I think there's a lot of me in Wilma, and even though she's just a cartoon, I think my voice is one of the things that made her so human. I agree. What do you think about that?
I do agree with that. Wilma is like one of the best, I think, female characters in cartoons.
She was a real strong character. Look, she was a housewife, which was what women did at the time. No, I'm not dismissing it, whatever.
It was the 60s. It was the 60s.
My mom was a housewife, but Wilma was a strong personality.
Right.
Okay. She took no guff.
Yes, I love that. She was almost like a Lucy character.
Okay? Well, very much. Come on, she's a redhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, she put up with a lot because, that was kind of what the role was. But when Fred stepped over that line, she smacked him back.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking a physical, abusive husband, whatever. But, when he mentally stepped over that line or said something or did something, that was really stupid because he was always trying to do a get rich scheme.
Yeah.
She smacked him down hard. Just like, what's Jackie Gleason's wife in The Honeymooners?
I don't know her name, but I know exactly what you're talking about in terms of that interaction between those two.
Yeah.
And she was a strong female character.
Yes. Everett also says that the Rock Hudson character was called Rock Quarry.
That's right.
Rock Quarry. Also, Tony Curtis starred as Stoney Curtis and Anne Margaret as Anne Margaret.
That's another one. Yep. That's a good one.
Anne Margaret. Yeah. So it was really, really popular for these current day live action actors to play on animated show.
Which they do on The Simpsons a lot now too. The Simpsons took over that kind of role where people guest star on there all the time as themselves.
Yeah, you saw a lot of bands that would show up, the Rolling Stones. I don't know if the Beatles have ever been on The Simpsons, but things of that nature. So that's very good. Okay, we're getting down to winding down a bit, but go ahead, Jerome. You got something?
So there were five. They said top 5 celebrity parodies. Okay, you had Anne Margaret, Ed Sullystone, which would be Ed Sullivan, Alan
Big Shoe.
Yeah, Alan Brickrock, which
Whoa, stop.
Alfred Hitchcock style.
Alan Brickrock, they call him?
Alvin Brickrock.
Alvin Brickrock.
Yeah,
Huh.
he's basically an Alfred Hitchcock kind of guy. Alvin Brickrock presents, an Alfred Hitchcock kind of guy.
Okay.
Rock Corey and then Stoney Curtis.
Huh. Okay.
I'm just looking to see if there's any others listed here. No, that was just the top 5 that this guy mentioned. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Pebbles was supposed to be a baby boy.
Really?
In 1962, during the show's 3rd season, the producer decided Fred and Wilma should have a child. Barbara told Emmy TV's Legends the plan was for their child to be a boy until Ideal Toy Company, the company that created the Rubik's Cube and Betsy Wetsy, changed his mind. One day, Barbara received a call from the guy in charge of Flintstones merchandising. He said, "Hey, I hear you're having a baby on the show." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Is it a boy or a girl?" "What else? A boy, a chip off the old rock," he says. "That's too bad. I have the ideal toy. If it was a girl, we could have made a hell of a deal." I said, "It's a girl." They sold $3 million within the first couple of months.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Pebbles was always popular, even among boys.
What are you
Pebbles was
eating?
popular.
What are you eating?
My tea.
You're eating tea. Okay.
No, my wife was nice and brought me my tea this morning.
Well, I'm gonna get served.
She got her up too late for me to make her breakfast.
Excuse me.
Yes.
All next week, I'll be served by people.
I don't want to even hear about it.
Quiet. I'll be served by people. Okay. I'll have my room cleaned up. I'll have my bed. I don't even make up my bed here at home.
I was gonna say, you don't make your bed now, do you?
I'm gonna have a dude walking into my room every freaking day. And not only that, we'll be turning down my bed at night. So
and you'll get those little swans and bears.
Yes, little towel animals. Yes.
See, I have to keep my wife happy now because we just had our 10th anniversary on Thursday, 10th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
And so
congratulations.
Thank you. She put up with me for 10 years.
Personally, I think you drugged her, but okay. All right.
Oh, well, now the 10-year mark has passed and the prenup is all done. So she says I keep her happy or I'll lose everything,
I thought prenups were only until divorces,
No, you put conditions in them.
Oh, you do? Okay. You shall not step into my man cave, things like that.
Well, basically I said, she gets, it's all bets are off after 10 years, about financials. Got
it. Okay. I think that's too much information, but now that we know, I got a good lawyer for you. Anyway, so we got another one here that I think you guys will enjoy. So take a look at this as we play another clip for the Flintstones.
One of the country's most popular recording groups, the Beau Brummellstones.
But I told you so. Don't mind my preaching to you. I said don't trust them, baby, now you know. You don't learn everything there is to know in school. Wouldn't believe me when I gave advice. I said that he was a tease.
Oh, I just adore the Beau Brummellstones. Don't you, Betty?
Yes, especially this number. It's from their new album.
I'm so lonely.
And now, all you dragsters, let's put 4 on the floor, a hanging 5, act a lot.
Oh, I love it. I love it when, 60s and 70s was probably one of my favorite eras when it came to music. And I just love it when they incorporate it into shows such as that. It just makes the show even better.
Yeah, like I said, instead of the Fab 4, you had the Fab 5 there. Because you could tell the mop top cuts and everything else, and some of the that was so much the Beatles. What I especially loved was some of the great guitar sounds there, only on 2 strings.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I want to know how
they're-
they tuned. I want to know how they tuned them.
Yeah,
You know?
well, and there's also, caveman communities out there
Yeah.
somewhere with, dinosaurs as appliances.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. There you go.
All right. Hey, is the cat in there? I see the cat. Wait for it. Oh,
Yeah. The cat. I think is in this one. Definitely at the end.
Where's that damn cat?
I was looking for my cat. I'm like, I don't have a cat in here.
No, for the ending. It's definitely at the ending.
Yeah, definitely at the ending. I like the fact that Deanna named one of her sons Bam Bam when he was little. I wonder why. Deanna, you're gonna have to explain that for us. Why would you name your son Bam Bam? I'm sure there's a story behind that. We're waiting. We're still waiting. So that was some pretty good. And you also know the Flintstones were involved in cigarette commercials back in the day, but that was during that time.
Right.
Not everything during that time was appropriate.
It was not controversial back then. Everybody smoked.
Correct. It was not. Okay. The Flintstones didn't need the Honeymooners. It's true that Fred was based on Jackie Gleason's Honeymooners character, Ralph Cramden, but Joe Barbera made him different. So many people say, did you copy the Honeymooners? I said, well, if you compare the Flintstones to the Honeymooners, that's the biggest compliment you can give me. Barbera, I said Barbara last time, Barbera told METV legends, but the Honeymooners don't have all the gags that we had in there, including a Stoneway piano and a Polaroid camera.
Also, the Flintstones went how many seasons? 6, 7?
6, I think.
The Honeymooners only went 3 seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, I think so. Hang on a minute. I'll get a definitive answer on that.
And while you're doing that,
but I used to watch it all the time when I was growing up.
Yeah, cool. Alan Reed invented Yaba Daba Doo. Yaba Daba Doo. Flintstones source says the origin of Fred's iconic Yaba Daba Doo catchphrase came from Alan Reed, who voiced Fred and reportedly used the line during a recording session.
Oh, actually,
Reed's mother apparently used to say a little dabba do ya, which inspired Reed. Alan said, hey, Joe, where it says Yahoo, can I say yabba dabba do? I said, yeah, God knows where he got it, but it was one of those terrific phrases, Barbera said. Go ahead, Jerome.
All right, first off, the Honeymooners was 1 season, 39 episodes. Okay. It started off reoccurring sketch off of the Jackie Gleason show. Okay. All right. The Little Dab'll Do You was famous for Bureau Cream hair cream for guys back in the 60s and 70s.
Okay. Hold on for a sec. Odie says no sound. That might be you, Odie. Everybody else can hear me? Please chime in, please. Otherwise, it might be on you, Odie. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so that's a good point on that one. Garrett says, about his son being called Bam Bam. He was a hardhead and liked to hit stuff with his head. Anyway, we're fans, so Bam Bam, his first Halloween costume.
That's cool.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so whoever Tom is, hi, Tom. Gotcha. All right, we're going to have to close this out because we're headed into our 90-minute session. We're always go longer than we intend. Actually, it doesn't matter if we go long. Okay, Deanna says we can hear you. We have sound. Okay, so Odie, that's you. Mike says yes. Cheryl says I can hear you. Okay, good to hear. Making sure it's not technical difficulty. And we didn't get any notice from Facebook.
Wow. We didn't get shut down. Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
That's pretty freaking fantastic. All right. So anyway, so I guess we could say our goodbyes on the Flintstones here.
Oh, you know, we'll come back to them eventually.
At some point,
yeah.
we will.
Yeah.
But
I hope everybody gets to enjoy them on MeTV.
Yeah, look what just popped up again. Of course, the band popped up. But once again, MeTV is debuting the Flintstones this Monday at 6. And we're really excited to see that, although a lot of us remember episodes. The only way that I can see, and let me get that off your face there, Rose. Hold on, Tom. I cannot get rid of Tom's. Oh, I did.
There it is. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Okay. So a lot of these episodes I remember. I don't know where you guys. I'm seeing my Flintstones on my Excursion TV. It's actually 24/7. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week that they show nothing. This is one of the channels that I have of the Flintstones. That's the only way that I'm seeing Flintstones again. Rose or Jerome, are you guys seeing Flintstones anywhere on your network?
No.
I have Me TV on Comcast. So
Yeah, same here.
Well, which means you get it on Monday, but you haven't been seeing it prior to that.
Up here.
Oh, no, not in a long time. It used to be on PBS for a long time, and then it went off the air. I haven't seen it in years.
PBS had TBS.
TBS,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
a
on
long time ago.
syndication. Yeah, it was in syndication for a number of years.
That's how I originally saw it, was on syndication when I was growing up.
It was also a Saturday morning. It was also a Saturday morning cartoon for a while. After it ran, they moved it from prime time to the Saturday morning.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. We got to figure out what we're doing next week because I am back from the cruise on Friday.
Yeah, he's going to be hungover.
But here's the interesting thing. I'm going to have to put up a banner for the show tomorrow.
Okay.
Because it's no way I can do it from the Bahamas.
Right.
I may get a signal from the Bahamas, but I don't want to guarantee that. So we're going to have to.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, after we deal with this, we're going to figure something out about what we're doing. Whoops. Hold on. What we're doing for next week. But in the meantime, you guys were absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining us. I love our
Thank you guys.
Our Kartoon Krew is so intelligent. I surround myself with people of quality and intelligence, and I'm always excited with things that they can add to any show that we do for Saturday morning cartoons. A lot of you guys are old enough to remember a lot of the Saturday morning cartoons that we. Oh, okay. I thought I lost you. That scared me there for a minute.
Let's see what Flint. Did you get a love note from Facebook?
No. One of my I'm not responding on one of my Google Chrome pages. In fact, I can't even get back to you guys. So this is going to be interesting here in a minute. I can talk or whatever, but I can't shut you down. Man, come on.
Oh no, the show's gonna last forever. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm about to go into froze mode. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of my. Wow.
Have a great week, everybody.
Have fun.
My screen is blinking on and off, and I'm like, what the hell, man?
This is what you get,
Yeah, and this was at the end too, so I guess that's not too bad. I can't even close screens. But other than that,
I want to say thank you to all.
I'm back. I got it.
All those who joined my watch party. I didn't get a chance to say it, but thank you, Dave and Chuck, for showing up, and everyone else. We really appreciate the people watching our show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, keep talking because I want to put some background music to what you just said.
Yeah. Geez, background music. Oh,
yeah, man.
He's gonna go for the adult background music.
No. Okay.
Exactly. See, this is. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you for joining our show. Thank you so much. This is the background music I wanted. Mike says when it wants to start, you punk. There we go. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Thank you.
Appreciate your comment there. Pillows. Tootsie Rolls on the pillows. Okay. All right. Whatever. Yes. Thanks, babe. I'll see you soon. No, Garrett, you rock. Oops, there you are. Oops, you just says. Put that back up there. And Deborah, yes, I will have a great cruise. I really need this cruise. It's been a long time I had time off for this long, believe it or not. Benny Hill music. I have no idea what that means, Mike, but whatever. In your world.
Now watch, you'll see the cat go from the car into the house.
Yeah, let me see this.
There's the cat
he's
right
on
there.
my side. He's on my freaking side. Cats suck.
That's a big hunkin' rack of ribs.
There's the car.
Thank you, Dina.
Yaba Daba Doo time.
There's the cat. Put him out. Yeah, where cats belong.
And he put the milk. And he put the milk out too.
Oh, now he's putting Fred out. That ain't right. So wrong. Thank you guys for hanging around for 89 minutes worth of broadcast.